Y'all, I think the downfall of Mr. Beast is upon us. Bro's always been problematic, especially if you go to his old videos. He's said and done some things that a lot of people do not approve of. Like the F slur, R slur, I believe. Overall really weird comments. Like I remember he made comments about Bad Baby when he was an adult. She was like 14 or something. I don't know. This is alleged. But recently there have been some more things that have come out against MrBeast that I want to talk about. MrBeast, also his videos are just overall very problematic because they include a lot of high stakes. And high stakes means high consequence. He's gotten backlash for so many things, but recently there have been some allegations, mainly in regards to his new series he's doing with Amazon, Beast Games. He also just kisses Elon Musk and a lot of other conservatives' asses, which, I mean, I'm not here to get political, whatever, but that's controversial. A lot of people do not like that. There was also an hour-long video essay that came out recently from an ex-MrBeast employee that basically was debunking Jimmy's whole persona, Jimmy being MrBeast, talking about fake giveaways, rigging challenges, that sort of thing. One of MrBeast's current employees actually tweeted about this and kind of debunked the debunking, basically saying that this employee only worked for them for like a month and he just debunked so many things about it. And the video creator himself, who made the video essay, apparently was like, yeah, like I'm high off my mind right now. I shouldn't be making this video. You can come to your own conclusions about that. I will put a link in the description. I'm not really touching on anything about that video or even looking at it just because it doesn't feel very trustworthy to me. I'm going to be focusing on the allegations that have come out against MrBeast and the crew behind the ones working on the show, Beast Games. Since the filming has wrapped, many contestants have come out saying that they were neglected and abused on set. Staff members were described as being disorganized and cruel, laughing at miserable contestants. One contestant alleged that they weren't given necessary medicine and witnessed others having seizures. Additionally, a female contestant claimed to have been sat in her soiled menstrual pad for 4 days. Oh, what? I also remember, I don't know, maybe last year, Rosanna Pansino was upset about a MrBeast video and has always been like a critic of his ever since she was in a video and they edited it up so that she didn't actually get the place that she originally got. I don't know. They just basically lied. And Rosanna was like, yo, why'd you lie about that? And then MrBeast was like, yo, let's get on a call and talk about it, Shotty. And she was like, no, I want this in text. And he was like, aha, let's call and talk about it, I guess. So I don't I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird situation, but that kind of adds to the claims of his videos being faked. And the reason I bring up Rosanna is because she has also involved again here. She's a well-established influencer herself, been on YouTube for years. She said that contestants came forward to her and shared information in her DMs, so she made a video on Twitter discussing them, and we will watch that. I I don't know how trustworthy these DMs are, these contestants are, but we'll look over it regardless. These contestants shared that they saw others with broken bones and bruises. They shared haunting stories of male contestants ganging up on female contestants and tackling them to the point where they had to withdraw from the competition. New York Times made an article about the show and some of these allegations. We're going to look at the article, but a very noteworthy quote from the article says that they described going long stretches without being fed by the production. One said she had gone over 20 hours, both during the games and while they were in Las Vegas before and after shooting. Both Pansino's and the New York Times' sources contain harrowing stories of abuse and mismanagement from Beast's team. At the end of the day, he's going to get away with this. assuming it's all true, he's a rich white man. He's also very popular and has a lot of ties and strings to things. He has money, and his audience, I feel like, is majority children, and obviously children are not caught up on allegations. I mean, honestly, anyone under the age of like 15 um isn't going to care about this, and they aren't going to see any of these allegations probably. They're just going to be like, oh, MrBeast, cool videos, cool guy, I want his money, you know what I mean? Kind of sucks that evil people get away with evil behavior, but it is what it is. We're gonna look at the New York Times article first, and then I'll show you guys Rosina's video. Jimmy Donaldson is the internet's fairy godmother. That's a crazy way to open an article. During an intake process this year, several contestants who were applying for the Beast Games told the Times that they'd been asked whether they would be willing to be buried alive or travel to outer space. So they were doing some crazy things for this video, the prize being $5 million. One contestant recalled being asked if she'd be able to swim to shore if thrown overboard from a boat. I understand that such activities may cause me death, illness, or serious bodily injury, including but not limited to exhaustion, dehydration, overexertion, burns, and heat stroke, read a line in a contract reviewed by the Times that applicants were required to sign. This isn't really uncommon though. I feel like you could be signing up literally to play The Price is Right, and your contract's going to say that, but this was different. Over a dozen people who participated in the first installment of Beast Games said that they had not received adequate food or medical care, and that some competitors had suffered injuries from these physical challenges. Some contestants left the competition arena on stretchers. A contestant said, though it was unclear if any of those contestants had faced serious medical conditions. Another described watching fellow contestants vomiting and appearing to pass out. There were several hospitalizations. Representatives for Amazon have yet to comment on this. I do want to look at this little sentence here. Mr. Donaldson's content has always relied on the willingness of others, often strangers, go to extremes to create highly watchable videos, which is true. I do find that very strange. But at the same time, he was putting himself through some crazy things early in the day, like saying words 10,000 times or reading the dictionary. I don't know. He did some crazy challenges just himself as well. And he does things putting himself at risk too. You can't really say it's just strangers or other people he puts at risk. It is him himself, for instance, being buried alive. It's so strange he puts other people at risk for views. I mean, yeah, they get money out of it usually, but I don't know. It's always rubbed me the wrong way. That's just my take on that. Apparently, former employees have spoken out about safety concerns. I did not know about this. We signed up for the show, but we did not sign up for not being fed or watered or treated like human beings. Shooting for the competition. The show started in July with 2,000 contestants gathered in Nevada, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, for several days. Competitors ate, slept, and lived inside of the stadium while competing in challenges like moving heavy objects and an extreme game of capture the flag. Some stayed up to 3 nights. I do not like this. It says before they arrived at the stadium on July 18th, the contestants had to turn in their phones and belongings, including medications. The group ranged in age from members of Gen Z to a competitor who said he was 82. I feel like they should be allowed medication, right? Some people's medications keep them alive. I mean, example for me, my medications don't keep me alive. They are just antidepressants. They help keep my brain in check. I would still like to take those daily, you know? I don't think it's really fair that their medications were taken away from them. I wonder if they knew that this was going to happen before going in or if this was a surprise. I wonder. Right from the start, things seemed off. Some contestants said they had originally been told that the competition would have 1,000 participants, but upon arrival, contestants received a video message from Jimmy informing them that the number of contestants was higher. Obviously, there's 2,000 contestants, Mr. Donaldson said in the video. I don't remember if I said that publicly or not, but there is. A spokesperson for MrBeast said the intention had always been to have 2,000 competitors during that phase, but went down to the 1,000. A lot of contestants felt misled by this. Several contestants also said that they had not been warned about how little they would be given to eat and how infrequently. They described going long stretches without being fed by the production. One said she'd gone over 20 hours. One meal described by several contestants included a tiny portion of cold oatmeal, one hard-boiled egg, and a few pieces of raw vegetables. I understand them not being fed, 5-star meals or 5-course meals, whatever, but the infrequency of the meals is a bit off-putting. It was difficult to keep track of time without watches or phones, but contestants estimated they'd been fed twice a day, once in the early morning and again in the afternoon or evening. A spokesperson for MrBeast said contestants had been offered 3 meals a day. People with food allergies and dietary restrictions said they had experienced even more trouble. For the competition, contestants filled out forms detailing their dietary needs. An FAQ document provided to contestants in advance of the event and reviewed by the Times said all dietary and food restrictions would be taken into consideration, but several contestants said that they had been served food they were allergic to and that alternatives had not been provided. We were treated horribly, a contestant said. They took on this challenge of 2,000 competitors. They should have known they needed an enormous crew to handle this correctly. We're all just looking up at the sky, screaming at him like he's a god. That's so scary. Why, why are we treating MrBeast like a god? Why does he have a cult following? Apparently, there was a psychologist on set. Interesting. And it also says that Jimmy did encourage the participants to speak up and ask for help if they needed it. Several contestants said that when they had sought out production staff members for assistance with medical care, food, and hygiene issues, the staff members were often not helpful and appeared disorganized. Some staff members yelled and cursed at contestants, one participant said. Okay, here we go. Despite reassurance that contestants' medications would be distributed to them when needed, several contestants said they had not received their medication on time, including one contestant who needed insulin, instead of receiving it hours or even days after their scheduled dosing times. One contestant said she initially been denied the food she required to take her medication and had been told by staff members that she didn't actually need to eat. After asking repeatedly, she was given half a banana. Crazy. Contestants were instructed to supply the production staff with a Ziploc bag containing 5 days' worth of undergarments, which would be distributed to contestants once the games were underway, but several contestants said they had waited hours or even days to receive their clean underwear. One woman said that when she and a group of contestants who were menstruating during the event had asked the production staff about getting their underwear more quickly, she had been told that it was not a medical emergency, and she recalled that a nearby member of the production staff had laughed at the woman's pleading. Some male contestants refused to pass pennies to female contestants, with the result that one of the teams was predominantly women, contestants said. Several people were interviewed for this article felt that they're not had a fair chance of winning the prize money given the way the teams were. One contestant said she had left the stadium bruised and bleeding after being injured and eliminated in the first challenge. She was handed $1,000 and a stack of dollar bills as a consolation prize, but said she had to hand the money back to producers after the cameras were off. Competitors were told they would receive their real payments later, she said, but as of publication time, she had not yet been paid. Makes you think about all the times people are offered money on the MrBeast videos. Do they actually get that money? They had signed a contract that they were willing to die for this. Ugh. Here is the video from Rosanna we are going to watch together.
Personally know who are involved. Hey guys, so it is time for a video because I have received messages from over a dozen people involved with the current Beast Games. For those of you who don't know, Beast Games is a competition show ran by MrBeast that will be on Amazon Prime. It is being marketed as the biggest competition show ever. I'll talk more about that later. On to the messages. So the messages that I have received from contestants on the show are pretty much all telling a similar story, and I find them to be very disturbing. Some of the messages are from people who have competed and they've been eliminated. Some of the messages are from people who are still competing, and some of them are from people that I personally know who are involved on the show and still doing so. These people are genuinely upset about how things are going. They're scared for not only their own safety, but the safety of their friends who are still competing. They aren't doing this out of spite. They're doing this because they are afraid for themselves and for their friends. As of right now, I have 10 stories from 10 different people, and none of them have shared their stories with each other, and I will be talking more about them in the future. I have personally worked in entertainment and on sets for almost 2 decades, and what is going on here is beyond disgusting and extremely dangerous. I wanted to read you one of the messages with the permission of one of the contestants to give you an idea of why I'm so upset and why I simply just can't let this go. It's absolutely not okay. So I'm going to read to you her message. I was a contestant until the end. I also didn't accept their hush money. It was really bad. People were having seizures because they were not getting medication, even though we were promised we would. And it was 100% rigged. They presented it as though the game would be like Squid Games, basically a type of game show where all the games are an even playing field. That was not at all the case. All the games were about speed and strength, so only the young athletic males were at an advantage over the women, and elderly people were also casted. To make things worse, men started realizing that they could take out the women without being eliminated. Guys started tackling and hitting women. 2 girls were tackled and passed out on the field and were dragged off to continue filming. I saw people with broken bones, stitches, etc., and most were women. We were given maybe 400 calories a meal and only fed every 12 hours. Food would run out and people would fight over, steal, and hoard food. Water was scarce and kept running out as well. I had to sit with a bloody pad for 2 days before I could get undergarments and my reusable pads because I'm allergic to regular pads. We were also sleep deprived, only allowed 3 to 4 hours. We all slept on the floor in the stadium in a $10 sleeping bag. I get that people saying it's a game show and it's not meant to be easy. I'm not saying it should be easy, but it was presented like Squid Games, where competitions were not biased and didn't exclusively cater to young athletic men. People who went signed up for Squid Games, not for American Ninja Warrior and Survivor. Why else would they cast elderly people on the show? They offered anyone who lost $1,000 to sign away their rights to join any kind of class action lawsuit of any kind. I didn't sign, so I didn't get the money. After this article came out and things started blowing up, they called everyone back and decided to offer an additional $1,000 per person to make up for any of the inconveniences. They knew it was bad because they also offered to provide therapy through their insurance. And it wasn't Amazon Prime that called me, it was MrBeast's crew. We were set up to fail. And when the men started tackling people to get them out, nothing was done about it. They were not even eliminated. The game that had to do with the briefcase, it felt literally like Hunger Games. While MrBeast is standing on his podium, looking down, watching all of us peasants fight for a chance at 5 million. I know it's a game show, and I know it's not meant to be easy, but even with a waiver, it is a company's responsibility to have safety protocols in place to try to prevent injuries. That is not what was happening here. The fact that the nurses at the hospital in Las Vegas are also confirming all of the injuries that happened is proof. They did not have to sign an NDA. And 5 of us so far have tested positive for COVID. Also, someone was allowed to go in with pink eye, which of course is also contagious. Now, this contestant has shared even more details with me, and I'll keep you updated. I have even more statements to come. And just as someone who has worked in entertainment and on sets, huge professional sets for years, I've seen people being treated different ways, but this is absolutely unacceptable.
That's all I have at the moment. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear them. This feels icky to me. I don't like it. We'll see if MrBeast speaks up, if Amazon says anything. If they do, I might make a video about it, I might not. I don't know. The show is not over. I believe 1,000 of the contestants were eliminated, and they're going to continue filming in Canada for the final 1,000. So, and I assume challenges and conditions will likely get worse as the competition goes on. So maybe we'll hear from the contestants after that portion of the show is filmed. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Do you think this is the downfall of Mr. Beast? I don't think so. I think this man will probably get away with anything, but we'll see.